few years ago, I had to take Savannah to Target and we had Sawyer with us. She had the day off school, and I remember that she was out of diapers and we had to go. And normally I do my shopping when Savannah's in school because going to the store with her is very overwhelming for her. She doesn't respond well to the noise, the people, the new environment. She doesn't like it at all. So I knew this trip was going to be a little bit of a struggle, a lot of a struggle. So I remember going into the store and just making a beeline straight for the diaper aisle. I knew where it was. I knew what we needed. We needed to get in and out and done. So that went okay. Savannah was distracted by her tablet and she was happy. So we get in line, and also this was before Target offered like pickup service, and we didn't live in an area where they would deliver to us. So pickup service didn't apply, none of that. Like, we had to go in. So we get in line and Savannah immediately gravitates towards the bottom shelf with all the candy and gum. And she sees these foil packs of My Little Pony. And Savannah loves My Little Pony and she loves foil packs. And she loves them so much that she'll sit and watch YouTube videos of other kids opening foil packs of My Little Pony. And she found this, and it was like my turn next in line. And I remember like turning my back for 2 seconds, and she already had 3 My Little Pony packs open, and she was playing with it and talking and super happy. So I picked up one of the packs so that the cashier could ring it up, and that was a big fight, and she wasn't having it. She was really upset, and I was telling her, Savannah, come on, it's time to go, and try to talk her through. No, she started to melt down, and she started screaming, and people started looking, and there was a man behind me, and he was next in line. So I have Sawyer in the shopping cart, and Savannah is behind me melting down, and this man behind me is trying to check out and leave, and Savannah doesn't want to leave. So he just kind of moves his cart like right past her leg. He acts like she's not even there. And more people started checking out, and Savannah is still on the floor melting down. And I'm trying to negotiate with her. And I'm saying, Savannah, do you want a drink? Let's go get a snack. We're going to go home. Nothing. She doesn't want to get up. Also, at the bottom of this register, there's a mirror so that the cashier can see if you have things underneath your cart. And Savannah loves mirrors, and she loves to look at herself, and she's now looking at herself, playing with My Little Pony toy, just talking away. And now, we've been in line with, it feels like an hour, but it was probably like 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. And people are looking. I'm used to that. If she's loud when we're out, people look and people stare. And I'm kind of immune to it now. So there was this one woman that came up to us, and she was super nice at first, and she offered to walk me out to my car because, Savannah was on the floor. So she's like, do you want to get your daughter off the floor and I'll push your cart and, to your car with your son. And I'm trying to watch her and try to get Savannah off the floor at the same time, because now a stranger is right next to my baby, and I'm afraid that he's gonna end up gone, and I'm trying to get Savannah off the floor. It was stressful, okay? It was stressful. So we're doing everything we can to get her off the floor. Everyone's trying to talk to her. Now a new cashier has come up to the register, and she was really nice, and she had walked over to Savannah and was offering her some stickers. She's like, do you want some Target stickers? And she was just talking really nice to her on her level. And this woman who offered to walk out to my car with me immediately says, don't do that. Don't try to reward her for that behavior. And we had been negotiating for like 20 minutes now, trying to get her off the floor. Not just negotiating, but just trying to get her off the floor. I was physically trying to get her off the floor also. And at this time, she was like 80 pounds. So our goal was to get out of the store. So this woman says this, to the cashier. And I said, no, it does matter because she has autism and she's nonverbal. And she's like, that doesn't matter. And she was just so mean and shook her head at me and walked off. Just like that. Just didn't care. And I was so upset over that. And I felt so bad for Savannah because she's having a good time. She's just doing what she does. And this woman was just so rude. So this cashier is still offering Savannah stickers, and I don't know what variety of words this cashier used, her tone of voice, something, but Savannah responded very well to it. And Savannah got up really calmly and walked over to me, and I put her back in the cart. And at this point now she's yelling, but she willingly was ready to leave. So the whole way out though, she's like screaming, she's just like stimming and yelling, and people are looking. And there was another mom that had walked by, and she's like, don't worry, we've all been there. I've got kids too. And I thought that was really sweet that she was trying to relate and try to make me feel better because she knew that I was clearly struggling. So after that happened, I realized just how much people still don't accept people with disabilities, people with autism, people that struggle in public. And what they don't realize is how hard we work with our kids just to make them comfortable out in the real world, at a restaurant, a store, a gas station, anywhere in public, just for them to be comfortable. And our children are taught to cope and adapt. And Savannah is going to have to go places that she's not familiar with at times. She's going to be out in the real world, and people are going to stare because she's loud and she acts differently than other kids her age. Fine. But what bothers me is that for as hard as we work with our kids, trying to get them to, adapt to the real world when we're out, I don't feel like it's the same way the other way around. I don't feel like the public is still that they even accept people with disabilities, that they accept kids that are different. And I think that they have to work on that just as much as our kids do. Being aware that there's children out there and adults that aren't like them, whether they're in a wheelchair or whether they're, deaf or blind, it doesn't matter, that they're just not like them. And they have to learn to accept those things. And that's something that really bothers me. And I think it brings up etiquette. People that hear that your child has a disability, they don't always know how to react. They don't know how to respond. And they don't know what to say. And they get uncomfortable sometimes, and that's fine. They just don't know. Maybe they don't know about autism, and maybe they don't know about whatever type of disability your child may have. Okay, I can accept that, but ask questions. When I would tell people I hadn't talked to in a long time after I had Savannah, when I would tell them that she had severe autism, so many people would say to me, I'm so sorry. And I can appreciate the fact that they felt empathy towards us. I appreciate that. But what's really the right thing to say? Like, what is it that we want to hear as parents? What is it that we want them to ask? I know that I want them to ask questions. You're not going to insult me or offend me by asking questions about my children's disabilities. Ask, and that's a great learning experience. And I think other children accept children with disabilities sometimes better than adults. And I know that's in my experience with Savannah. That's not always the case. I know that there's bullies and there's mean kids, but I feel like children are more open to others that have disabilities than adults are. And I think that they can teach us a lot. So, what's the right thing to say? Not too long ago, a neighbor had come by and they have a little girl, and they were trying to get her attention, and they were going to yell her name. And Savannah was around, and she said to me, my neighbor, she said, oh, I need to yell her name, but I don't want to yell around Savannah. Is it okay? Because I know that I don't want to upset her. And I said, oh yeah. I said, go ahead. Like, that's fine. Go ahead and call for her, And I thought it was so courteous. And I know that it's something so simple and, just so small, but I can really appreciate that. And I remember her saying, like, I don't know a lot about autism, but I do know that certain sounds and, lights and things can really bother kids that have it. And I said, that's right. That's exactly right. So we kind of talked about autism for a minute. And I just want people to accept our kids and ask questions and educate. I mean, we live in a time now where you can Google anything, and not everything you Google is going to be correct, but most of the information, if you look at a reputable source, you'll be able to educate yourself about any type of disability. So do it. Educate yourself if you don't know. And if you have a friend that has a child with a disability, or you have a family member that does, and you don't know what to say, it's okay. I would rather a family member or friend say, I just don't know. Just admit, I don't know, but what can you tell me? Just tell me about it. And just the interest itself is such a big deal. It really means a lot. And I know in our case, it means a lot. So that's what I think about some etiquette that goes along with children that have disabilities, or even adults that have it. So maybe you've experienced something similar, but I will continue to take Savannah out and make people more aware that there's kids like her, there's adults like her, and they exist in this world, and we should just all accept them.